Hey ya folks, how's it going? A few weeks ago, I had the great honour and privilege of being a tabletop teacher at PAX Australia. I had a really great time and I feel like I'm just itching to get back to another convention soon. Part of the reason I got the opportunity to be a tabletop teacher is thanks to Steve from Tin Star Games, who was running their game The Score, which will be kickstarting around January. I had a great time running that game, and you'll probably see it on the channel in future. To say a big thank you to Steve for giving me this opportunity, and I really think you should follow along what games they're creating and the stuff they're doing in general, so I am going to put links in the description down below. In addition, I also was given a copy of their game to review for you all today. This is a game set in a world with fallen angels, and God has stopped answering their calls. This is Relics. The world of Relics is much like our own. In this urban fantasy, angels used to be able to travel back and forth from Earth to heaven. But suddenly, without any notice, the doors to heaven closed, and many were trapped back on Earth. In this time, angels had their powers sealed into items, known as relics. With no god or higher angels available to command those left behind on Earth, factions and different groups have been created. Relics are incredibly powerful, and now demons and different groups of angels, or other groups altogether, are in an arms race to claim and own these relics. Relics as a game takes elements from different religions and folklore and weaves them together with their own fiction. A basic conceit of the game is each of the Abrahamic religious texts got something wrong about the world. This is not to discredit anyone's religion, but rather it's to create a certain distance, to understand this is a fantasy world rather than a role-playing game about a religious belief. The book uses various terms that would be familiar to people who were raised with the ideas of angels and the various terminology. This allows the book to have a bit of a shorthand in explaining what angels can be. The lore of this game is told through a series of vignettes about two fallen angels and how they try to make meaning of their eternal lives after their fall. What does it mean to live on Earth among humans? And they struggle to claim influence and relics against other forces. All of the angels in this world are capable of having different ideas as to what God wants and what is her will. God's silence to their angels means that several factions and different ideas on how to fulfill this will have been created. The angels of this game aren't wholly good. In service of their goals, they might even do evil or abhorrent things. Perhaps some angels encountered in this game will do things that you might find evil. Each of these angels tends to think of themselves as a hero. The world of Relics is a dark urban fantasy with many opposing groups. Relics uses the fugue system, which was made famous in the Las Vegas games. This uses a deck of cards, in this case a tarot deck. The system uses a deck of cards to resolve most challenges. Players will draw a card, and depending on what they draw, they could have a catastrophic failure or a triumphant success. The other significant mechanic of this game uses each character's memories. The players use flashbacks to fill in their angel's backstory. Exploring a character's background can help explain or show what an angel is good at, as well as filling in those interesting character backstories. Relics makes a few changes to the fugue system, one of which that I really like is miracles. If a character draws the Heaven card from a tarot deck, they might be able to perform a miracle. Characters also tend to have cool abilities that can be activated once per scene. Creating a character in this game has you choosing several traits for your character. These tend to describe what kind of angel they were and where did they fit in a hierarchy. Different angels follow different archangels, have different philosophies, and different strengths. All of these details describe what kind of angel your angel is like, but also a bit of their life before they fell to Earth. You also then get to describe how and perhaps when they fell, and how do they try to blend into humanity. Something that I really like about their disguise is that it's not perfect. There's always going to be something off about them. For example, a potential flaw in your character's disguise could be that their teeth are only for show. They can't actually eat anything solid and can only consume liquids. Overall, I have to say I really, really like this game. I actually read it on the plane back home from PAX, and the lore had me hooked from the get-go. I really like how the game combines lore into mechanics for the player's agency. Also, I have to say the art of this book is really striking, and you see some really interesting designs for angels and different angelic symbolism. If you are in a group and you are interested in playing in a dark urban fantasy, I would absolutely float this game as a possibility. The game has a morally grey tone, which can make for some really interesting characters, especially with the memories playing such an important role in the game. You get to explore some interesting character backstories, which might explain why a character is so morally complicated. I don't necessarily think this is a game for intricate war mechanics, nor for a spotless hero, but that's not what the game is trying to do anyway. A copy of this game is only about $60 USD, and honestly, I think this game is a bit slept on. Perhaps I'm a bit biased because I love the work of Steve and Tin Star Games. This also isn't the first game I've reviewed from Tin Star, but I continue to be a fan. It certainly won't be the last game I review, though I promise to give my most honest thoughts. If you have a game that you've made that you would like me to review, please reach out to me. I'd love to hear about it. I'd like to ask everyone today, if you were to make an angel in Relics, how would you make their disguise flawed? Perhaps while you're there commenting, you could subscribe, like, maybe share with a friend. It just helps the channel keep going. I've also started a Ko-Fi page where you can get more behind the scenes info on what reviews I'm working on. You don't have to donate, I just appreciate everyone's support. I hope you're all well, and I'll see you next time at the gaming table. Bye!